Good day to our honored panel, Sir Antonio Tolentino III and Dr. Hazel Frances Rebullo. Good day, I am May Sunshine Badyang, together with my co-researchers, Ms. Riza May Gallardo and Ms. Rebecca Rivera. We would like to represent to you our research titled, Assessing the Social Learning Behavior of Grade 6 Students in Apokon Elementary School. So let's proceed to introduction. Chapter 1. Rationale. Behavioral problems are likely to exist in a classroom setting due to some reasons. These behavioral problems are considered the most challenging for many primary school teachers. Behavioral problems among intermediate students are rampant and hard to restrain. Many public school teachers cite student attitudes, such as apathy and disrespect for teachers, as a major problem facing school today. Behavioral problems of the pupils became the most challenging and difficult hurdle that the teachers encountered inside the classroom. Public school teachers experience difficulty at one time or another in trying to remedy this situation, and they are exposed to the behavioral problems of pupils who can tell what, when, why, and how this pupil behave. Since teachers cannot wait for behavior to be evident, they must provide students opportunity to help themselves shape their own behavior through their guidance. By Amado and Guerra, 2018. Student misbehavior is a problem affecting schools across the nation and around the world. Schools are realizing that without character education, which can help establish a good learning environment, education itself may not be effective. Behavioral problems have been constant in school environment for centuries. Recently, as the disruptiveness is impeding the learning and safety within the school environment, the problem has begun to receive more than because the lack of discipline encourages students to act out with little or no fear of consequences. All parents want what is the best for their children, but not every parent knows how to provide his or her child with the tools to be successful, or how to help the child avoid the biggest behavioral problem, such as substance use, delinquencies, school dropout, pregnancy, violence, and etc. By Zabala and Pignol, 2018. In India, the study of Mary, 2014, entitled Student Learning Behavior and Academic Achievement, Unraveling its Relationship, aimed to investigate the relation between 5th through 9th grade, perceived Portuguese teachers' classroom management. Teachers perceive time spent with misbehavior, teachers' self-efficacy, and teachers perceive classroom misbehavior. A conditional process analysis of the relation between teachers' classroom management and teachers' perceived classroom misbehavior with mediator and moderator variables was tested. In the Philippines, the study of Amado and Guerra, 2018, entitled Behavioral Problem of Intermediate Pupils as Perceived by the Teachers in Selected Public Elementary Schools, aimed to determine the behavioral problems of intermediate pupils as perceived by the teachers in selected public elementary schools. The teacher's profile in terms of age, sex, and length of service, employment status, and grade level handled, and the teacher's perception of behavioral problems and their causes. Many researchers have studied about students' competencies and the classroom, student behavior problems and difficulties, student anxieties, as well as factors that affect the behavior of students in the classroom. However, the researchers have not come across any study that specifically discussed the influence of social cognitive constructs to the social learning behavior of grade 6 students. Hence, this study is essentially needed as it will provide relevant concepts which would possibly help the Department of Education, primary school and primary school teachers to create, adopt, and innovate teaching strategies and techniques so that students will improve their social learning behavior in class. Research objective. The research would like to conduct the present study in order to assess the social learning behavior of grade 6 students. Specifically, it will seek to find an answer from the research objectives. 1. To assess the social learning behavior of grade 6 students in terms of 2.1. Reciprocal determinism, 2.2. Behavioral capability, 2.3. Observational learning, 12.4. Reinforcements, 2.5. Expectations, 2.6. Self-efficacy, 2. To provide an intervention program. Review of related literature. Social learning behavior of students. Academic achievements is one of the significant predictor in lives of students. It's the outcome of education and it foretells the extent to which the students, teachers, and educational institutions have attained their educational goals. Study skills are often determined by the students' learning behavior, which affect their learning pattern. Learning behavior is the mental readiness of the student to learn, which indicates their resourcefulness, creative thinking, and imaginative activities, love for their learning, high interest for reading and writing, and also having better psychological adjustment in class and school. It depends upon the emotional and social climate of the home and school because good school make contribution to develop such climate of learning. The learning behavior of the rural, urban, and semi-urban students differ even though they belong to the government school following the same curriculum. Perhaps the reason could be their school environment or parenting style and their socio-economic status. Perhaps the personality traits of the male and female have also contributed to the difference in their learning behavior by Mary 2014. Socio-cognitive theory. During the first half of 20th century, the behavioral school psychology became a dominant force. Behaviorists proposed that all learning was a result of direct experience with the environment through the process of association and reinforcement. Because learning is so complex, there are many different psychological theories to explain how and why people learn. The psychologist named Albert Bandura proposed a social learning theory which suggests that observation and modeling play a primary role in this process. Bandura's 1986 theory believed that direct reinforcement could not account for all types of learning. For example, children and adults often exhibit learning for things with which they had no direct experience. Even if you have never swung a baseball bat in your life, you would probably know what to do if someone handed you a bat and told you to try to hit a baseball. This is because you have seen other perhaps this action either in person or on television. His theory added a social element, arguing that people can learn new information and behaviors by watching other people, known as observational learning. This type of learning can be used to explain a wide variety of behaviors, including those that often cannot be accounted by other learning theories. By Cherry 2019. There are 5 constructs developed as part of the social learning theory, while the 6th construct of self-efficacy was added when the theory evolved into social cognitive theory. The first construct is reciprocal determinism, which is the central concept of social cognitive theory. Reciprocal determinism refers to the dynamic and reciprocal interaction of person, individual with a set of learned experiences, environment, external social context, and behavior responses to stimuli to achieve goals. The second construct is behavioral capability, which refers to the person's actual ability to perform a behavior through essential knowledge and skills. In order to successfully perform a behavior, a person must know what to do and how to do it. People learn from the consequences of their behavior, which also affects the environment in which they live. The third construct is observational learning, which asserts that people can witness and observe a behavior conducted by others and then reproduce those actions. This is often exhibited through modeling of behaviors. If individuals see successful demonstration of behavior, they can also complete the behavior successfully. The fourth construct is reinforcement, which refers to the internal or external responses to a person's behavior that affect the likelihood of continuing or discontinuing the behavior. Reinforcement can be help initiated or in the environment, and reinforcements can be positive or negative. This is the construct of social cognitive theory that mostly closely ties to the reciprocal relationship between behavior and environment. The fifth construct is expectations, which refers to the anticipated consequences of a person's behavior. Outcome expectations can be health-related or not health-related. People anticipate the consequences of their action before engaging in their behavior. And these anticipated consequences can be influenced successful completion of behavior. Expectation derive largely from previous experience, while expectancies also derive from previous experience. Expectancies focus on the value that is placed on the outcome and are subjective to the individual. The last construct is self-efficacy, which refers to the level of person's confidence in his or her ability to successfully perform a behavior. Self-efficacy is unique of social cognitive theory, although other theories have added this construct at later dates, such as the theory of plain behavior. Self-efficacy is influenced by a person's specific capabilities and other individual factors, as well as by the environmental factors such as barriers and facilitators, by Lamort 2019. correlation between measures. There is a significant relationship between the two variables because the social cognitive indicators may influence the learning behavior of learning school student in class. Research findings from several academic domains have demonstrated that student judgment of their own academic capabilities or self-efficacy beliefs influence their academic behaviors and performances. The social cognitive conceptions of self-regulated learning involve a tragic analysis of components, processes, and an assumption of reciprocal causality among personal, behavioral, and environmental tragic influences. This theoretical account possesses a central role of the construct of academic self-efficacy, beliefs, and free self-regulatory processes, self-observation, self-judgment, and self-reactions. Hence, researchers interested in academic self-regulated learning have begun to study processes that students use to initiate and direct their efforts to acquire knowledge and skill. By Zimmerman, 1989.
Theoretical framework. This study will use the social cognitive theory of Albert Bandura since 1986 on social cognitive learning behavior of students. The learning behavior of students is essentially important in order for the teachers to create and provide an intervention plan to help improve the students' social learning behavior. Here, the study of social cognitive behaviors allows the student to be more knowledgeable about how they interact socially with other people and what influences their learning behavior toward their peers, classmates, and teachers. It is supported by the proposition of Zimmerman since 1990 that for 3 decades, social cognitive researchers have studied children's development of self-regulation as an achievement of socialization processes. Many researchers recount the emergence of social cognitive perspective on self-regulation and identify its unique features. Meanwhile, Rodriguez, Robero, and Cunha since 2012 suggested that conducting immediate reading with a social cognitive focus is feasible in school even though significant differences were found in use of mental language and social information processing in elementary students. In conceptual framework, represented in Figure 1 is the conceptual framework of the study. The independent variable is the learning behavior of grade 6 students who are studying in Apokon Elementary School. The independent variable is the social cognitive indicators, namely A. Reciprocal determinism, which refers to the dynamic and reciprocal interactions of person, environment, and behavior. Letter B. Behavioral capability, which refers to the person's actually ability to perform a behavior through essential knowledge and skills. Letter C. Observational learning, which refers to the assertion that people can witness and observe a behavior conducted by others and then reproduce those actions. Letter D. Reinforcements, which refers to the internal or external responses to a person's behaviors that affect the likelihood of continuing or discontinuing the behavior. Letter E. Expectations, which refers to the anticipated consequences of a person's behavior or anticipation of the consequences of the action before engaging in the behavior. And these anticipated consequences can influence successful completion of the behavior. And F, self-efficacy, which refers to the level of a person confidence in his or her ability to successfully perform a behavior, and is influenced by the person's specific capabilities and other individual factors, as well as by the environmental factors. Lamorte since 2019. In Figure 1, the conceptual framework of the study, social cognitive is the independent variables. There are indicators, reciprocal determinism, behavioral capability, observational learning, reinforcements, expectations, and self-efficacy. So, they are called intervention problem. So, in the significance of the study, the result of the study may serve as a basis of formulating teaching strategies which may help the social learning behavior of grade 6 students improve through the use of social cognitive indicators. The findings of this study may encourage the Department of Education to implement better school curriculum and programs to help improve the teaching skills of the grade 6 teachers in handling the different social learning behavior of grade 6 students. Furthermore, primary schools will be more knowledgeable about the social learning behavior of grade 6 students. The outcome of this study will help teachers to understand the social learning behavior of grade 6 students in the classroom settings. Furthermore, the result of this study may eventually benefit the students since this study will be conducted to evaluate the influence of social cognitive indicators of the social learning behavior of grade 6 students. Hence, it may enable them to progress and develop their individual learning skills and behaviors. The future researchers may also use this study as their basis in exploring the coverage of the research in terms of the variable covered in the study. So, in definition of terms, in order to have a better understanding on the terminologies used in the study, the following terms are defined operationally. Apokon Elementary School. This refers to the school where the grade 6 students are currently enrolled and taking up classes. Grade 6 students. This refers to the research respondents of this study who will answer the survey questionnaires. Social cognitive indicators. This refers to the indicator reciprocal determinism, behavioral capability, observational learning, reinforcements, expectations, and self-efficacy of social cognitive. Social learning behavior. This refers to how grade 6 students socially interact with other people. Delimitations and limitations. This study is limited only to the research respondents of this study who are grade 6 students of Apokon Elementary School, located at Tagum City, Davao del Norte. The researchers will create a survey questionnaires containing 30 questions. After the validation and approval of the survey questionnaire, the research respondents will answer the survey questionnaire. The gathered information and data from the survey questionnaire will be assessed, analyzed, and interpreted by the researchers in order to answer the research question established in this study.
Chapter 2. Research Design. This study will utilize a descriptive quantitative research design. According to Hamken 2000, quantitative research design are either descriptive or experimental. In a descriptive quantitative research design, the association between variables are only established and the subject are usually measured once. Meanwhile, McCombs 2019 defined descriptive research as a research design which aims to accurately and systematically describe a population, situation, or a phenomenon, and it is appropriate choice when the research aims to identify characteristics, frequencies, trends, and categories. Descriptive design is also useful when not much is known yet about the topic or problem, and it is usually in quantitative studies. The study utilized descriptive quantitative research design since the aim of this study is to determine and assess the influence of social cognitive indicators on the learning behavior of grade 6 students. Moreover, since the study aimed to investigate the significant relationship between the social cognitive indicators and the learning behavior of 6th grade students in class, therefore, the quantitative research is the most suitable design to be used in this study. Research local. This finding of this study are very specific to the content of Apokon Elementary School, which is located in Tagum City, Davao del Norte. The survey will also be conducted in Apokon Elementary School, Tagum City, Davao del Norte, Philippines. Populations and samples. This research respondent of this study are the grade 6 student of Apokon Elementary School. All grade 6 students will answer the survey questionnaire, which will be explained by the researchers. With regard to the personal details to the research respondent, specifically their names, age, and ethnicities, such as all remain hidden during the presentation of the result of the study to ensure their individual's right to privacy to personal information. To protect the identity of research respondent, their names will be placed by number instead. The grade 6 student will be given a number code of SA1, wherein the SA means section A, while 1 means student 1. Meanwhile, the SB1 means section B, and 1 means student 1, and so on. A thorough preparation of acquire this student information and the parents' consent during the conduct of the study will be surely implemented. So grade 6 section and the numbers of respondent. Research instrument. The researcher will be create a survey questionnaire which will be used of data collection. There are 6 social cognitive indicators and each indicators will have 5 questions. Overall, there will be 30 questions in the questionnaire. The survey question will be simplified or translated to vernacular to the understanding to the question respondent. A specific process will be undertaken in the making the questionnaire by reading lectures to create pool of items, full inclusion in the instrument. So these survey tools will be validated by group of experts to assure that the items in the questionnaire are appropriate and correct. The comments, suggestions, and recommendations of the expert were properly taken and reflected by the researchers. The survey questions will be measured in a 5 Likert scale. The Likert scale measured the influence of social cognitive indicators to the social learning behavior of grade 6 students and will be determined if there is significant relationship between social cognitive indicators and the learning behavior of grade 6 students when grouped according of according to their profiles. The influence of the social cognitive indicators to the learning behavior of grade 6 student will be based in the average weight means. These scores will be categorized the scale using the exact limits below with their descriptive equivalent. Range of means, descriptive equivalent, and interpretation. Data collection. After the approval of the panel members, the researchers will be undergo the following steps and procedures in conducting this study. The researchers will ask affirmation to the school principal of Apokon Elementary School to conduct the study and will also ask the permission of the research respondent before conducting the study. Upon approval, the letter of endorsement will be sought to accommodate the researchers in administering the survey questionnaires to the research respondent of the study. The researcher will be personally hand in the survey questionnaires to the research respondent and will be explained the research tool as well as its purpose. Furthermore, the researcher will be retrieve the survey questionnaires after the research respondent have answered all the items. The researchers will be tally the tabulate all data gathered from the survey subject to statistical analysis. The statistical result will be analyzed and interpreted by researchers with the gathered data from the survey conducted. Hypothesis and conclusion will be drawn and recommendation will be formulated based on the finding of the statistical tools. The statistical tools will be used of data analysis and interpretation are the following. Mean. This will be used in average the result of the survey questionnaires regarding the influence of social cognitive indicators to the learning behavior of grade 6 students